Hey guys and dolls, today I'm doing a mascara tips and tricks video, and mascara is something that I tend to kind of gloss over when I make a video. I'm so instructional about so many different things in my videos, but for some reason I just tend to kind of gloss over mascara in most of my videos because I feel like most people do know how to apply mascara. This is kind of one of those areas where I have the windows open, it's hot. But here's where there's a little bit of a disconnect between my YouTube life and my in real life. You know, I am a makeup artist outside of YouTube. You know, I do lessons, I do all these different things. And so I actually watch other people apply their makeup all the time. And so I see a lot of things that are, I don't want to say wrong, because I really do believe that makeup is subjective and it's an art form, and you know, there's no right and wrong and all this stuff, but you know, maybe there's some things that you maybe shouldn't do, and maybe there's better ways to do something if you're trying to go for a specific look, you know what I mean? So yeah, these are just some tips and tricks. This isn't a mascara don't video. For the most part, it's a mascara do video. So I hope that most of you will get some tips and tricks out of this. I know I learn something every single day. Again, I learned some do's and don'ts just from watching other people. So if you have any additional mascara tips that you would like to share with everybody, please leave them in the comment box. I'm always interested in learning new tips and tricks. So without any further ado, here is my top 10 or so mascara tips. The first tip I want to share is the direction your lashes should be going in. You want your lashes to kind of look like a hand. Some of them go this way, some of them go this way, and some of them in the middle go straight up. Now, this is one of those things that is a really good rule of thumb for everyone. One thing I see a lot is when people kind of push them all into one side. I had a friend in high school, bless her heart, and she used to comb them all in the same direction, and it kind of looked like when you were a little kid and you draw a picture and you like draw the eyelashes in one direction. It's not a good look. It looks really artificial. It looks like you put on mascara, and even though you might be going for that makeup-y look, it makes your eye actually look bigger when they go in all the different directions. So that's just, you know, that's a rule of thumb that's good for everyone. Another great tip for making your eyes look bigger and more open and just making your lashes and your whole eye look a little flirtier, use a lash curler. Now, I know a lot of you are scared of lash curlers, and you know what? A couple months ago, I was totally there with you. I used one time, pinched myself, and I was done with it. I didn't even keep one in my kit, which actually proved to be really, really irritating when I would be somewhere that I needed to curl someone's lashes and then I didn't have a lash curler, and it was a nightmare. But anyway, I have since fallen in love with this. This is a half-lash curler. This one happens to be from MAC, and I'm just in love with it. It's smaller, so it's a little bit easier to get in there and curl and see what you're doing, because it's not this big huge thing and you're not as afraid of using it. I've used this with other people. I've had other people use it, you know, teaching them how to do it, and most of them absolutely love this because it's smaller. It's a great tool, and if you're afraid of lash curlers, I would definitely invest in a half lash curler. The other great thing about using specifically a half lash curler is that you can curl the whole eye one time and then just double curl on the outside here, and that's going to give you that lift that you're looking for without having to put all your lashes in one direction. Not cute, don't do it. Anyway, moving on. One other quick thing I want to mention before we move on from the lash curler is that what you don't want to do is put on your mascara and then curl your lashes. The reason being is that the mascara will act kind of like a glue. It'll stick to this and you risk breaking off lashes or having them rip out. So just curl your lashes, then apply mascara, and then you're good to go. So what if you're doing your mascara but you're having a hard time seeing? Maybe you normally wear glasses, or just for whatever reason you're having a hard time seeing. I find one trick that has helped me for years is to bend the wand. So this is a mascara, and I'm just pulling it out and ever so slightly bending the angle. And that way when you're applying the mascara, you're not seeing all this, you're just seeing this little bit. So it just makes it a little bit easier. I do want to mention that this will only work with the more traditional brush style wands where it's actually like a wire, and it will not work with something like this where it's a rubber brush. Savvy? So what if you make a mess while you're applying your mascara, and let's say you get a mascara boo-boo up here? Nightmare, I know. Let it dry. I know, it's like a nightmare. You want to wipe it immediately, but then you get smeary, icky, gross mess. Let it dry. And then go over it with a dry Q-tip. Just kind of rub it over. It comes right off most of the time. if you have a need to actually properly remove it, I recommend a makeup remover that you can apply makeup over, like the MAC Pro makeup remover or something like that. It doesn't have to be that exact product, because that way you can just get in there, remove what you need to, you know, do some surgery and then move on. Another thing too is that if you make a little mascara boo-boo, you know, really close to your lash line, and if you're doing kind of a neutral eye, maybe a little bit of a smoky look, maybe just blend it out a little bit. I do it all the time. It just adds to that, you know, smoky sex kitten factor. And okay, so we're talking about a little bit about smudging, boo-boos, things like that. I want to talk to you about preventing your mascara from smudging. So one thing that I do when, let's say, you know, I've done all this eyeshadow and I'm like, ooh, it's so pretty, I love it, I'm so happy with it, I don't want to have to redo it or whatever. One thing that I think is intuitive is to do the top lashes first. Well, if we could retrain ourselves to go underneath and do the bottom lashes first, what ends up happening is that you tend to put less mascara on your bottom lashes. They'll dry faster, and then you can do the top lashes and they can take all the time they need to dry. Because let's be honest, one of the best things to put mascara on is you mascara face, right? It looks stupid, but what it does is it stretches out your face. But when you're doing it on the bottom, you look up like this and then boop, you get little blurbies up here. Not so cute on your eyeshadow. Another thing for the bottom lashes is that if you tend to get a kind of spidery look on the bottom, sometimes it's because you have really long bottom lashes. I do a little bit in the center here, so what I like to do is just take my thumb and my ring finger and just pinch a little bit of the excess mascara or some of the longer lashes, because I have like weird random ones and then they're all like kind of uniform. Another great product to use to prevent mascara smudging is to use a tubing style mascara. I don't have any on me right now to show you, unfortunately, but I'll list some in the description box, some really good ones I've tried. But what's so great about this type of mascara is that it's sweat proof, cry proof. You could pretty much swim in it, but it is removable with warm water. It comes off in these weird little, like, you know, stringy thingies. It's kind of funny, but the only downside of this type of mascara really is that I found that you didn't get a lot of volume with it. The texture of it is very different from traditional mascara. It's kind of like a really thin latexy kind of paint, and you just don't get a lot of volume. That's the major downside. So I just talked about a great mascara that doesn't get a lot of volume, but what if you want it all? What if you want length? What if you want volume? One of my favorite mascara tricks, I use it on everyone, I teach it to everyone who will listen, and that is to wiggle at the lash base. A lot of people, when they go to put their mascara on, they go, and they just pull straight out. That's okay if you have like super lush, rich, thick lashes. But for the rest of us, I like to wiggle the product into the roots first, kind of go along, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Sometimes I'll wiggle my head, sometimes I'll wiggle the wand. Either way, it gets the job done. My mom actually came up with the best term for this, and that's zigzagging the mascara. So you kind of just wiggle it in, because then you're depositing more mascara at the root where you want more volume. Then you go through and you pull through the ends to give you that length. It's going to taper the look of the lashes and of the mascara itself and give you that really luxe, flirty lash look. One of my favorite mascaras is actually Hot and Naughty by MAC. Now this one is really interesting because it's kind of like a twofer. The bottom one gives you more mascara, so it's great for doing that, you know, really volumized root. And then the top wipes off more of the mascara, so it's great for doing the length. So yeah, that's actually my favorite mascara, FYI. So you want to be very gentle with your eye and be very patient when you are removing any eye makeup, but specifically mascaras, and super especially waterproof mascaras. What I typically like to do is get an eye makeup remover and put it on like a cotton pad and actually soak it on my eye for a couple seconds, let it kind of hang out, start to dissolve the makeup, and then gently wipe it away. The better your remover, the less you're going to have to rub. So good eye makeup remover is worth looking for. You don't necessarily have to pay a lot of money for it, but you do want to find one that you don't have to rub your eye a lot. Not just because, you know, it's annoying to have to do that, but when you spend a lot of time rubbing, that means friction. That's bad for the skin around your eye area. You're kind of putting damage on your eye, creating wrinkles. This can pull out your lashes, a whole bunch of other stuff that you just really don't want happening. So please invest in a good eye makeup remover, and again, it doesn't even have to be expensive. So my last and final tip is to throw it out. Every 3 months, throw out your mascara. Bacteria starts to build in that thing because you're putting it near your eye, and it's not like an eye pencil where you can sanitize it. So please just toss it out every 3 months. Now, if you find a really great mascara, or maybe you invest in expensive mascara and you don't want to chuck it out every 3 months, that's totally fine. One thing that you can do is either wipe off the mascara wand every time you use it before you put it back in the thing. Kind of annoying, but some people like to do that. And then the other thing that you can do is you can actually use disposable mascara wands. Again, it's kind of costly, but if you have that perfect mascara that you love and you know it lasts longer than 3 months, then maybe it's worth it to you to do that. I think that's pretty much all the mascara tips I wanted to share with you guys. I hope you're having a fantastic week, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Remember to be vintage or tacky, just be yourself.